Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be reacting to the golden era of The Flash. The Flash is one of my favorite TV shows ever, so we're not going to waste any time because I'm really excited to see this video. Let's go, let's check it out.
There was a time when The Flash wasn't just good, it was a must-watch series. Every week felt important, every villain actually hit. But this wasn't just a show about a dude who runs fast. This was a show about lives getting ruined and Barry Allen making the worst decisions possible every single season. But then yeah, we all know what happened in the later seasons. Them Jones is just garbage. So the real question is, when
Man, the Flash fell off after season 5. Season 5 and season 4 season 4 was a good season, honestly. Season 4 was a good season. Season 5 was okay. Then after that, it was a bunch of BS. I don't know what happened. But yeah, they fell off like crazy after season 5.
The Flash actually peak? Because if you can ask anybody that watched it, there's only one era everyone agrees on, seasons 1 through 3. And it all starts with season
And season 4. Season 4 was peak. I'm not going to let anyone tell me otherwise. Season 4 is definitely peak of The Flash.
The reason the show became legendary, it wasn't a slow build, not like a wait 5 episodes to get good kind of show. Nah, straight up, in the beginning, Barry gets struck by lightning and boom, he's pretty much the Flash and gets moving. The particle accelerator explodes, Star Labs is cooked, and now Central City is basically a super powered lottery system. And for once, the villain of the week formula actually hits. Let's talk about these villains. Even the early ones were very solid. In season 1, they gave us the Martin brothers, Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, Heatwave paired up with Leonard Snart. May I say more? This season was completely filled with amazing villains. Like, bro, this is just a start. Every episode felt different, but it never felt random because the real villain was right in front of us the entire time. And I'm not even gonna lie, this might be one of the craziest reveals we got in superhero TV. It's Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. Let that sit in for a second. This man killed Barry's mom, manipulated his entire life for 15 years to get back to his home timeline. That is generational hating. I'm sorry.
Yo, this man, Eobard Thawne, was jealous because Barry Allen like took a trophy from him. I think it was like that. I don't know. I'm gonna put it on the screen of what actually happened. I think it's because he took like a spot from him or took a trophy from him, so he got jealous, and they were like beefing for like a few hundred years, few hundred years. You know what I'm saying? And Eobard back in time. Obviously, Barry followed him. They fought. Eobard wanted to kill Barry, but as a kid, I'm basically just giving you the rundown of the Flash. Eobard wanted to kill Barry as a kid, but adult Barry got kid Barry out of the house. Then all there was left was the mother, and the mother, the mother yeah, basically Eobard was like, alright, I can't kill you as a kid, I'm gonna kill your mother. But so that's what happened, and then he lost his powers. He's probably gonna say explain his video. I'm gonna explain it though. He lost his powers, so he had to rebuild everything from scratch. So he took over another person's body and then built the accelerator part built the particle accelerator 10 years before it was supposed to actually happen, so that the Flash can be born so he can get back to his timeline. Yeah, if that didn't make sense, you know what? We're gonna watch the video.
personally, I'm not letting that slide. We gotta run the ones in the Speed Force immediately. What also pushes season 1 over the top is just the emotion. Along with all the rest of the seasons, he's trying to freeze dad out of prison, proving what really happened to his mom, and protect the people he loves. Iris, Joe, Cisco, Caitlin. Like, this man is going through it every episode. Even the emotional strain between Iris and Barry was elite. Imagine going in a coma for 9 months, coming back to see the girl of your dreams, kissing on another man. I'm gonna have to off bro after that. Even the parts of Team Flash emotion is captured. We find out about Caitlin's supposed to be dead fiance is alive and merged with another science.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. Looking back at it, because I have to rewatch The Flash again. I do like a yearly rewatch. You know what I'm saying? I watch it like 2-3 times a year. I ain't gonna lie. That's my favorite show ever. You know what I'm saying? But how did the wave just get Ronnie's body outside of the accelerator? Like, if it got his soul, I get it. If it was Martin Stein's body, okay, that would make more sense. But it's Ronnie's body. Made no sense. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep watching the video.
Martin Stein, and they merge together, becoming Firestorm. As the series goes on, we run into my goat, Joe, aka Joe Walk Down West, putting the pieces together on Harrison Wells and who he truly is. So him and Cisco look into Barry's mom's case, and they
yeah, Joe was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he had shit. Like, he knew something was going on with Harrison Wells. So it was like, alright, I know something's going on with him. I'm gonna just test the waters a little bit. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Joe is him. Joe is one of my favorite characters of the show. Okay.
DNA matching future Barry. Everything started to break one by one. Joe, he gets captured. A tsunami about to wipe out the entire city. Wells.
This, my favorite episode ever of The Flash. Ever. Bro. Spoilers, obviously. You haven't watched the show. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he just said it. Everything happens. Joe gets kidnapped. Tsunami happens. Harrison reveals he's a reverse Flash. And then poof, Barry runs so fast that he goes back in time. Harrison never reveals himself. Joe never gets kidnapped. The tsunami never happens. He runs back in time to prevent all that. Okay? Now, of course, Barry knows that Joe was kidnapped. He knows the tsunami happened, but he never knows that Harrison revealed himself to be the reverse Flash. Like, that's crazy. It's one of my favorite episodes of the whole show. I'm not even gonna lie.
Himself in front of Caitlin and Cisco, and then straight up murked Cisco off the face of the earth. I'm like, nah, they did my boy like that. Cisco was a goat. But wait, there's more. Barry reveals that he's the Flash to Iris to save the entire city. In that moment, he has the speed, the suit.
He did do that too. He revealed he was the Flash to Iris.
Girl, there's nothing else Barry can want more in life. But he runs so fast trying to save the city, he goes back in time to earlier that day. So now, Cisco, alive. Joe is safe. And that entire moment where Iris, gone. This man Barry hit a Uno reverse card on his entire life for the past 16 hours. Barry tries to fix everything, right? But season 1 hits you with that rule. You can't mess with time without consequences. So the series goes on and Team Flash finally starts to figure out who Dr. Wells really is. And I gotta say, the way they did it was kinda crazy. This man Thawne planned this out for 15 long
15 years. Imagine you go back in time. Like, I would say like 30 years ago, 35 years ago. And you have to wait 15 years just to have the technology to go back to your original timeline. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Excruciating years, and you're gonna tell me he got caught because he forgot to upload the Star Labs building cinematics? This nigga is trash. That's got to be top 10 worst ways to get caught of all time. Imagine being a literal generational mastermind and losing because your iOS didn't update, bro. After they figure out who Dr. Wells really is, everything escalates once again. Eddie sucks Barry in his mouth because he goes
That's
for
what I was
Iris.
talking about.
Dawn proceeds to kidnap Eddie, and it pretty much tells him he's worthless in everything that he does, and he gets nothing right in life. Then Dawn decides to turn on the particle accelerator, the same particle accelerator that caused an entire metahuman massacre across Central City. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro's doing way too much. After all of this, we finally get to one of the best crossover moments in season 1, the Flash and Green Arrow teaming up to stop the Reverse Flash.
That's one of the best superhero duos of all time. CW Flash and CW Arrow, top tier. I ain't gonna lie, that's S. If I'm ranking superhero duos, the Flash and Arrow from CW, that's S tier, 100%.
The way Dawn pulled up was just insane. Speaking of pull-ups, you remember Firestorm? Yes, even Ronnie pulled up to give Dawn that BTA, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give props to Reverse Flash. This suit up was insanely tough, but stop it.
That was because he had it literally. The suit was in his wing. He did that shit and it expanded. He's super sped into that shit, bro. That shit was so dope.
Wasn't enough. As you know, Thawne's gaslight attribute is at 10 at all times. And then he proceeds to tell Barry he has the opportunity to save his mother. Even when this man is beat, he still has Barry making constant life-changing decisions. Because if Barry goes back to save his mother, he doesn't become the Flash, there's no Team Flash, and the life he built with Iris and Joe will never exist. That's actually one of the hardest choices in the show Barry has to make. But all in all, he chooses to go back to save his mother. Barry runs through the particle accelerator, goes back in time, and sees his mother for the first time 15 years. And right before he goes to save her, he looks through the door and sees his future self holding his hand out, stopping him. That moment right there was low-key heartbreaking. All Barry could do was just stand there and let it happen. Again, that pain, that
You had to play the audio? Nah, that's crazy, bro. But nah, future Barry was like, yo, like, we have built this whole life ahead of you, and you're gonna get rid of it one moment. Like, you got great friends, you got a family, bro. He's like, no, don't do it. Don't mess with time, bro. Don't mess with time. Him playing the audio in this video is crazy work. I'm not gonna lie.
is why we love these seasons. He gives some final words to his dying mother, and then he spins back on Thawne for round 2. The hands in this show was always elite between speedsters. The moment Thawne thinks he has the upper hand, Eddie shoots himself in the chest, sacrificing himself for the greater.
Eddie, man, Eddie was a good guy. I ain't gonna lie. Eddie was a good guy. Eddie was a good guy, man. But nah, yeah, that fight scene, that was a great fight scene. I'm not gonna lie.
As much mixed emotions there are at this moment, it still isn't over because this man Thawne had a plan even if he didn't make it. Like my GOAT Captain Cold would say, make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan. Even though Thawne was erased from the timeline, there was a black hole still going on from the particle accelerator being partially activated, ripping apart the entire city, and all Barry could do was run up to the black hole and try to close it by running around it. But Barry couldn't do this on his own, so Ronnie merges with Professor Stein to go help out Barry. Little did we know this would be the last time we would see Ronnie Raymond. He sacrifices himself by splitting himself from Stein to close the black hole with an amazing ending to season 1. Season 1 had everything: amazing villains, amazing antagonists, emotional storytelling, and stakes that actually mattered. And that's why when people say the Flash fell off, what they really mean is season 1 set the bar way too high for the rest of the seasons, but not for season 2. Season 2 doesn't even
lie, my personal favorite season of The Flash is season 2. Let me know what your favorite season is. I think season 2 is great because it starts off him back in time, which I wish I cut it off for like 2 or 3 episodes. He comes back, and then there's one villain, and then finds out that villain is just serving his master, who is the real main villain of season 3. Who is really, you don't know who that villain is. It could be anyone. and it turns out it's, oh my god, you're gonna find out later in this video, but it's a crazy revealing, a crazy plot twist. That's why season 3 is my favorite season of all time for The Flash. Let me know what your favorite season is of The Flash.
Try to ease you in. It kicks the door wide open and says, what if we made season 1 but just more chaotic? This is where the show introduces the multiverse. Yeah, we're not dealing with just one Earth anymore. Now there's an entire Earth 2, which basically means it's the same people from Earth 1 but a little different throughout the series. In this season we get a whole new character selection, including Jay Garrick, aka The Flash on his Earth. Jay Garrick is pretty much Barry Allen if he had more experience, but just a little bit slower. Another character we get is Harry Wells. And listen, this man is not the same Wells from season 1. Hey, but good luck telling that to my goat.
Harry Wells is my favorite. Harry Wells. People say it's HR, but I think it's Harry Wells. It's Harry Wells. Come on now. It's Harry Wells. But now, Joe was spinning that shit. Every single time you saw that man's face, that was crazy.
Walk him down west. The moment he seen Harry, he instantly up-pulled on Bill and shot 3 rounds aimed directly at his chest. Keep it a buck, Barry. Was this 360 really necessary? And instead of Harry trying to explain the situation, he's sitting there rage baiting the man like he's not willing to up another 6 round into him, bro.
How are you still alive? Well, I don't know. Because you missed.
That is crazy work if you ask me. But let's be real, Joe would fry Harry in the ones for real. In this season, Cisco is still the funniest dude alive. Apparently, Cisco was affected by the particle accelerator explosion, and now bro can see the future, teleport through dimensions. And we can't forget a few of the many baddies Barry.
I'm gonna try not to pause too much. The man, he fumbled Patty. He fumbled her name was Lisa. I forgot her name. He fumbled her. He fumbled Felicity. He fumbled Caitlin. Bro. Just to end up with Iris. She a baddie. But come on. Stop playing me. It's the only time Barry pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie.
Just had to fumble for Iris, Linda Park, and Patty Spivak. I swear, Barry had chemistry with every girl in the show but Iris, man. How can someone fumble this hard? But on a more real note, the villains in this season were an absolute different breed, because they're not just random metas. They're being sent by Zoom from Earth 2. You got Sand Demon, Atom Smasher, and even Dr. Light all sent to kill the Flash. We even got one of the coolest introductions of King Shark entering the series. But all of these metas is just building the hype for him. This dude is nothing like the Reverse Flash. The Reverse Flash was calculated, a mastermind. Zoom is straight up a demon. Keep this away from me at all times.
Yo. Hold on. Zoom is definitely way more intimidating than the Reverse Flash. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that shit is scary as fuck. Just to see that shit, bro. Yes.
He just shows up, beat the brakes off of you, and leave you questioning your entire life choices. Yeah, bro, I'm making the same exact face. Once I realized that the fastest man alive is getting absolutely folded, you got it, bro, you got it. Just the way they introduced Zoom was insane. This man shows up, just starts violating Barry. I'm talking throwing Barry's own lightning at him, stabbing him with a trank, picking him.
Barry died that day. In another life, Zoom didn't stop. Barry died that day. Barry was dead. Barry would have died. Which is crazy. Zoom whooped that ass, bro. Alright, I'm gonna stop pausing.
Up and parade walks him around the entirety of Central City and just casually ups bro like the NBA championship finals trophy, man. After that complete embarrassment, Barry's now like, alright, we gotta run that back on Zoom's turf. So Harry, Cisco, and Barry make a trip to Earth 2 in order to save Harry's daughter. And keep in mind, this is only one of the many people Zoom has kidnapped, so we're gonna start the kidnap counter here at 1. But once they arrive to Earth 2, Caitlin is now Killer Frost, Ronnie is alive and is now Deathstorm and also a villain. Cisco is now Reverb, also a villain. But Barry is just still the nerdy, quirky Barry Allen we all know and love. Some things just never change. But we do get to meet Earth 2 Iris and Joe, and my boy Joe was killing it at Jitters. He went from walk him down west to tear him up west.
Sweet comic Valentine.
Cause that singing was just beautiful, but it doesn't last long. Killer Frost and Deathstorm pull up, frying Joe in the chest and causing Barry to chase him into a different part of the city. And we get one of these demon lineups of Deathstorm and Killer Frost versus Barry Allen. And now we're about to see my boy Barry go crazy. I lied, my go deceived me, and he proceeds to get jumped. We got Reverb and Deathstorm spamming the Y attack on their controllers with the Vibe Blast and Fire Blast just comboing the hell out of Barry. And that boy Ronnie was feeling the moment a little too much. Like, yo, calm down. You're 2v1ing a defensive speedster right now.
Stop! Both of you! Zoom wanted him alive! You know what Zoom will do if you don't obey him!
Yeah, man, I would listen to your girl if I was you. But since Ronnie didn't calm down, Zoom pulls up, blitzes his hand right through his chest. The good old classic reverse flash. He then speeds in front of Rebird's face, scolds him, and then offs bro as well. But wait. He's not finished. He blitzes over the Killer Frost just to say, since you listen, you don't die, which is low-key crazy aura from Zoom. After all that, Zoom takes Barry and speeds away. I'm not gonna lie, you gotta watch out who you mess with, especially a demon speedster like Zoom. But don't think I forgot about that kidnapper counter. He also just kidnapped Barry. That makes it number 2. After Barry gets help from his team to escape Zoom's lair, Barry tells the guy in the cell across from him that he will come back for him. Harry reunites with Jesse and Barry zooms them off. But hey, you can't get away from Zoom that easily. Zoom is instantly on their tail back to Earth 1. Back on Earth 1, Jay Garrick and Caitlin fix the breach and see Barry and the others coming back. As Cisco and the others come through, they're screaming, "Close the gate." Panning back to Earth 2, Zoom has Harry by the bag, holding him like a teddy bear. But Harry ain't no softy. He stabs Zoom and they bolt to the breach back.
I ain't gonna lie. Harry ain't no bitch. Harry ain't no bitch, bruh. He said, yo, if I die, I die. But I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this motherfucker, bro. You got that shit. What?
To Earth 1. They then make it through and instantly blow it up. But for some reason, this supposed speedster Jay Garrick had to stand right in front of a closing breach in front of Caitlin and gets another reverse flash through the chest and pulled through the breach as it closes. It's gotta suck to be Caitlin, bro. She's 0 for 2 for Love Lives right now. And you're telling me Jay Garrick is supposed to be a Flash? Get that man on the fraud watch right now. Although Barry is 0 2 for Zoom, this arc does give us one of the coolest reveals of all time. Now remember, Zoom dropped off Jay's body, and sitting there is the helmet on the podium, the same one Jay wore. Barry starts to understand Cisco's intuition, walks over and smashes it. Cisco starts to vibe it out. We didn't see another crazy twist. The same guy that we saw killed, and turns out Jay Garrick, aka Hunter Zolomon, is actually Zoom. Now the room goes completely silent because there's no way the team got duped by a fraud, not once but twice in back-to-back seasons. There's gotta be some elite level rage bait from these villains. Now we finally get a full breakdown. Jay Garrick was a fake name. Hero Persona was also fake. That supposed dead body we saw, also fake. Zoom is actually Hunter Zolomon, another mentally insane human. Bro has Hall of Fame badges in insanity. He has a traumatic childhood and a serial killer father, and they decide to give this man super speed. This man created a time remnant of himself just so he could fake being Jay Garrick and manipulate the team from the inside.
Nuke the whole. Crazy, bro. He faked everything just so he can get closer to Barry Allen and steal his speed, bro. He created a time remnant of time remnants just so that time remnant was either Zoom or was Jay. I think it was Jay. The time remnant was Jay. What the time remnant what to do? The time remnant listened. Went to Earth 1, did all this shit. Well, Jay or Hunter was over on Earth 2, killing people. What?
Whole generation.
But there is another twist we found out about Zoom. Zoom isn't just evil, he's falling apart. Later in the season, we meet Eliza Harmon, Caitlin's friend who secretly turns into a speedster called Trajectory. Sounds tough, right? Yeah, until you realize how she got her speed. V9 is a man-made drug that gives you speed, basically the speedster version of steroids. But the same with drugs in the real world, there are drawbacks, which the side effect of V9 is blue lightning, the same color lightning as Zoom. So we understand that Zoom is an unstable speedster and needs natural speed to keep himself healthy. Team Flash Flash decides we not ducking rep no more. They have Cisco open a breach to Earth 2, and Barry is ready to run the fade with Zoom once again. But Barry this time came more prepared. He went back in time to get a Tachyon enhancer from Thawne, and now he's moving at incredible speeds. That thing was putting in some work. It even got to a point where bro would pump fake Zoom. That was one of the toughest moments in speedster history. That boy Barry acting like he completely forgot about what Zoom did to him in the early season. And what does Zoom do during all of this? This man starts cheesing. Because Barry got stronger and faster, he gets geeked.
You've gotten faster. Good. There'll be more for me to take.
Nah, this man's a fiend, bro. After all of that, they run through Star Labs, but Barry doesn't just have speed. Since they know who Zoom is, they use Zoom's past, his mother, and his abusive father. Zoom hesitates and he gets trapped into the ground. Right when you think you had Zoom, that don't work. You do not give a demon time to reset. Zoom snaps right back into his demonic state and hits one of the most iconic lines in
Bro, this was so cold. Oh my gosh, it's so cold. And if you're in that moment, if you're Barry Allen, you shit your pants, bro. Like that shit's so. Just listen.
speedster history.
You can't lock up the darkness.
And then just
That's so cool with the black eyes too. That's aura, bro. That's so cool.
disappears. The team feels defeated and they go home and they pull up to Joe's house just to realize it's been ransacked and Wally West is gone. Make that kidnap counter number 3 on this list. Actually, the counter should be 4 for counting the other guy in the prison. After a long assessment on what to do, Barry makes a call. He's going to give up his speed in exchange for Wally. Zoom pulls up to Earth 1 for the exchange. And this is where you really understand how crazy Zoom is. He tells Joe straight up he created a fake Flash to give people hope just to rip it away.
To give people hope, Detective. Hope. So I could rip it away from them.
Now, I know Reverse Flash hated Barry, but Zoom, he just loves the chaos. It's pure love of the game. 10 seconds later, Barry finally loses his speed. Zoom gets what he wants. And before he leaves, he kidnaps Caitlin. That's number 5 on the kidnapping count. What is with this man? Obviously, without the Flash's speed, Central City is a free real estate to any new villains, including Zoom. The team was stumped for a while, but figured out how to get Barry Allen's speed back. The idea they came up with was to recreate the particle accelerated explosion, because clearly that went great the first time. But this one is obviously drawn back a lot more. But they ended up making the machine and they fire it up. But Barry gets obliterated. And that's not all. Wally and Jesse also got hit with a huge wave of dark matter. Thinking Barry was dead, this is called the Flash we're talking about. He just wakes up in the Speed Force. But the Speed Force basically tells him, you don't just get to have your speed back, you have to earn it. And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm Barry, I'm going off on everyone in the vicinity. This man has gotten his back broken, dragged across the city on live TV, fought metas every week trying to kill him and his family, and gave his speed up just to save Wally West. And now you want to have the Speed Force tell me I have to earn my speed back? Elite phase coming their way. Barry eventually gets his speed back, but cannot seem to catch a break. We get one of the most painful moments. Everyone's at Joe's house. Barry finally got his dad back, and then Zoom pulls up and goes on about Barry being alike. Then Zoom proceeds, murks his dad in the same spot his mother died, right in front of him. We can see the pain in Barry's eyes turn into pure anger as he gives Zoom belt around the city. But since Barry is the Flash, he hesitates on killing Zoom. But Zoom had other plans. He kills his own time remnant just to prove her point. That is psychotic behavior. Oh, and before we forget, he kidnaps Joe too. That's number 6 on the kidnapper count. This man is just farming hostages at this point. Now Zoom uses Joe to force Barry's hand to show who is the fastest speedster. If Barry wins, he saves Joe and his team. If Zoom wins, the entire multiverse is gone. So Barry does something insanely smart. He creates a time remnant. One Barry saves Joe, the team, and contains the explosion. The other Barry continues the race. But Zoom realizes what's happening and gets angry and tackles Barry off the track. Then they start throwing some hands. But Barry was prepared. He ends up knocking down Zoom, and instead of killing him, he lets the time race come take him. Time race are like the order of time. Even the Reverse Flash is scared of time race, so you know they're a problem. They end up going for Zoom and not Barry, and turning him into the Black Flash, dragging him deep into the Speed Force. Oh, also, do you remember that guy that was in Zoom prison? That's the real Jay Garrick and Flash from Earth 3. This was an amazing end to the season, but also Barry was devastated. After losing his mother, then also losing his father right after he got him out of prison is truly heartbreaking. Iris gets censored, which led us to the porch scene. They end up having another together and they tell each other how they feel. Barry runs back to the past, saving his mother from Thawne, and ends up creating Flashpoint, leading us to our final peak season, Season 3, the Land of Consequences. So after everything we just went through in Season 2, Barry just completely snaps and does the one thing everyone told him not to do. He goes back in time and saves his mom. Welcome to Flashpoint. Flashpoint was created when Barry saved his mother, and he basically created another timeline where everything was different. His mother's alive, his dad is alive. He isn't the known Flash in his timeline, and he also never met Joe and Iris. But Barry is happy. He's smiling every day, like every day is okay, but everything isn't okay. Barry starts to lose his memories, and it turns out when you try to rewrite reality, reality clouds back and deletes you from existence. Funny thing is, the same person who he stopped to prevent Flashpoint, he needs to restore the timeline. So he has to go ask his biggest hater, the slime out demon himself, the man that does everything in his power to kill Barry, to restore the timeline. Well, once he goes through this excruciating scene, Barry gets to reset everything. Barry comes back to the timeline he made before Flashpoint, but nothing seems to be the same. Things are different in certain ways. Cisco's brother is now dead. Caitlin is starting to turn into Killer Frost. Wally developed speed, as well as Jesse, and everyone's trust in Barry is just a little bit shaky. But soon enough, we finally get that welcome to Season 3 moment. This man is an entire future consequence. This is what we love in the early seasons of The Flash. His introduction was cold. Bro comes out of the Speed Force like a demon in armor, moving different. He's faster, stronger, and also seems like he knows everything about Barry, which is low-key terrifying. Hey, but we're not gonna skip past what just happened. Did we not just see Savitar pull Barry through time itself across the entirety of Central City once again and get the bitch beaten out?
Savitar can move from, let's say, my house, which is like south, to fucking Canada, like in 0.1 second. That's how fast Savitar moves, bro, which is insane. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, this frame is crazy, but also this frame is honestly disrespect. Bro is getting thrown directly at us in 4K, bro. Then we end up getting the moment that sets the whole season. Barry sees the future and Iris dies. The one job Savitar hyped up all season, and I know some of you Iris haters out there are riding hard on this moment right here. And as the season went on, I was too, low-key. This wasn't just a possible future, it was a time step. Savitar is the one who kills Iris. Barry and the entirety of Team Flash built their plans around to save Iris. Now, aside from Iris, everybody's going through it. Emotions are maxed out this season. Cisco's mad at Barry for changing the timeline because his brother's dead. Caitlin is becoming Killer Frost. And Barry, he's spiraling because no matter what he does, the future keeps going towards Iris's death. Now, what makes Savitar such a great villain? He gave us a mix between Thawne and Zoom combined. Savitar, he's smart like Thawne, but also loves the rage bait just like Zoom. Teasing the future right in front of Team Flash the entire show, knowing they don't understand a single thing, is what I'm talking about. And there's nothing Barry can do about it because every move he tries to make, Savitar is always one step ahead. We didn't get back to back reveals this season. Barry starts connecting the dots.
This is why this is my favorite fucking season of The Flash, bro. When you see this look right here that Barry has, and like you're like, wait, what's happening? He's connecting all the dots. He's like, wait, I know who Savitar is. This, man, I'm about to go rewatch the show. I'm not gonna lie.
From all the past experiences they had with Savitar. Running into open space, he faces Savitar and has him unmasked, just for it to be another version of Barry. Well, a time remnant of Barry. You remember that fight with Zoom? Yeah, that time remnant got abandoned and rejected in his own timeline and turned into Savitar. So whatever Barry knows, Savitar knows. This is why it seemed impossible for Barry to try and fight anything that was Savitar.
That's actually wrong. Savitar is the time remnant that Barry made fighting Savitar. You can see later in the season they talking about who came first, Savitar or the time remnant. So it wasn't the time remnant that fought Zoom. That time remnant died. It was a time remnant that fought Savitar when Barry made multiple time remnants to defeat Savitar. One of those remnants got left behind and became Savitar, which is a crazy story. Crazy story.
it earlier in the season. So now Barry has to figure out, how do you beat someone who is you? More importantly, how do you save Iris without breaking the timeline once again? We reach the final moment, the night Iris is supposed to die. Everything is playing out exactly how Barry saw it. Savitar pulls.
See, HR, I love HR. But if Iris died, he wouldn't have gotten anything. You can see when he went to the future. If Iris died, Barry would have lost everything. So yeah.
Up about to kill Iris. They feel confident because Barry finds out about the Speed Force bazooka that he used in the future, but it still played out because the Speed Force bazooka didn't even work. The plan fails. It goes completely off the rails, and Iris is stabbed right in the chest. And I'm not gonna lie, looking back at this after watching the entirety of The Flash, I'm jumping out my seat right now. I am geeked. Savitar did his job. We hype. Well,
yeah, nah, we don't like Iris. I ain't gonna lie. She bad. But she is annoying, bro. Oh my gosh.
Since that was his daughter. In the moment, it was very sad, especially since it wasn't even Iris. It was the new Wells from the season, H.R. Wells. Arguably the funniest Wells of all time. But we find out he ends up taking Iris's spot, trying to make amends for the screw up earlier.
Where's Iris? Iris, safely stashed away on Earth 2 with old Harry Wells.
Yeah, bro was kind of the reason Savitar had Iris in the first place. Savitar's plans fall apart, and for the first time, the future is changed for Iris. Now, Barry finally has an upper hand against Savitar. He ends up getting Jay Garrick from Earth 3 to help him in the fight, and we get this elite forest fight scene between Jay Garrick, The Flash, and Savitar. And in all seriousness, this frame is insanely tough. We even get to see Barry taking over Savitar's own suit and standing over him, giving him belts. After Barry phases out of the suit, he starts.
That red lightning on the Savitar suit looks so hard, bro. It looks way better than the blue lightning that was on the Savitar suit.
Away on Savitar, thinking he's knocked out. You gotta finish the job, because Savitar tries to sneak my boy Barry, but then we get an elite shot from Iris West Allen shooting Savitar right in his back, putting him 6 feet under. What a crazy turn to the series. The whole time they hyped up Savitar trying to kill Iris, but ends up Iris killing Savitar. Absolute cinema. Honestly, after all of that, you would think Barry would have a happy ending, right? Absolutely not, because the Speed Force is unstable. It needs a prisoner. Due to Savitar being gone,
there's never no happy endings. There's never happy endings. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
And Jay, there is no holder. So Barry Allen, the GOAT, he gives the reign of the team all in Iris's hands and enters the Speed Force himself, saving the entire city. The hero who tried to outrun consequences finally stops running for the sake of his family. What an ending. This is why seasons 1 through 3 of The Flash were different. He faced something stronger than himself. Season 1, we get him becoming the hero. We see his struggles, we see his trials and tribulations, and we see him overcome them. Season 2, we see that he cannot be too naive as a hero and him having to overcome somebody insanely stronger than him as a villain. In season 3, not only does it take both attributes from season 1 and 2, but it also implements the attribute of him having to face himself, because Barry was one of his own greatest enemies, and we got a perfect portrait of that throughout the entirety of season 3. Every season had real intriguing stakes on the line. The emotional consequences for everything was amazing. The villains actually mattered and made sense, and the decision making for everything all led up to each and every season. Now yes, these seasons had some flaws, but what made it peak is the growth in the development of the Flash we watched and grew up with as kids. That's why this era of the Flash was just absolutely peak. But season 1 through 3 really just has everything perfectly structured. If you guys do love this video and you get this to 100 likes, I will do a part 2 going over the Flash's lowlights. All in all, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Thanks for watching the video.
Man, what a video, man. Shout out to They Reacts. We might watch the second part, the lowlights of The Flash. That was a great video. I know season 1, season 2 were obviously the best season of Flash. Season 3 is personally my favorite. Season 3, and then season 2, season 1, and then season 4, and then season 5, and then season 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't care. I don't care. But anyways, hope you liked the video. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Why not? You know what I'm saying? I'll catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.